Hello there everyone, and you may have noticed something, that my speakers have gone. Well, if you may remember when you were watching the DX Racer Formula unboxing here, this is what I said about them.
These speakers are pretty subpar if you ask me. These speakers are pretty subpar if you ask me. Pretty subpar if you ask me. Pretty subpar if you ask me. Subpar.
Well, I lied. They weren't in fact subpar. They were in fact shit. And there's a very good reason why. The actual speaker drivers, I haven't got one here to sample unfortunately, were so small it made the sound really tinny and really synthetic. And then that was across all 5 speakers. Then there was the subwoofer, which also had all of the main controls on. On that you can adjust like bass level, surround speaker volume and center speaker volume, and of course the master volume. To get anything decent out of it, not good but just decent, I had to turn pretty much everything all the way to the maximum level apart from the master volume. But then again, it didn't matter which level I put the sound at, because every time I switched the speaker on it made an annoying buzzing sound. In fact, I've actually recorded a little sample so you can have a listen. I don't know if it's going to be any clear, but this is what sound always greets me whenever I switch this thing on. How long would it take for that to drive anyone up the wall? I mean, any normal person, that is. I can't believe I actually made them last this long. So, with that in mind, I guess an upgrade is in order by going back down to 2 speakers? Yeah, I'm going back down to 2 speakers for this upgrade. Also the reason because all 5 speakers were on my desk because I wanted to keep everything tidy. And that obviously, of course, rendered 5.1 absolutely useless. So I did a lot of research into better stereo speakers, and I was originally set on getting a pair of one of those active desktop speakers. You know, the large sort of speaker variety that had multiple inputs and different features built into them. But I had to reject them because I would only use one feature, and that would be connected to the computer down there. So I had to rethink what I really wanted. And then I came across something that I'm hoping is going to work for me. In this packet is something called the Amptastic Mini-1. And according to Amptastic's website here, it is a Class T desktop amplifier, and it's based off of the TriPath TA 2020-020 amplifier chipset, and they say it's the best in class. Yeah, that sounds like something. Alright, I'm going to be brutally honest. I know absolutely nothing about these mini Class T amplifiers. I'm actually taking a bit of a huge risk with this because I have no idea if this is going to be any good or not. If it is, fantastic. If it's not, we're back to square one again, and I'm going to have to try and figure something else out. So, I think with that, we're going to start taking a bit of a risk and open this thing up, shall we? Let's get on with it. Alright then, let's take a look at what's inside this little packet. So this is apparently the amp itself, and probably some form of power supply. Let's see if we can rip it open first of all. Oh yeah, I can rip it open. No need for the knife, you may go away. Alright, let's have a look at what we got inside here. So, this is the Amptastic Audio Cable UK. Oh, it must be the power supply, or the power brick, I think. Let me just get that into view. Okay, maybe we do need the knife just to cut things open here. Alright, here we go, let's have a look. Alright, here we go. Come on! Open up, damn it! Oh, it's just a standard kettle lead, actually. That's alright. Okay, so at least that's a standard thing. Now the amp itself, here it is. Alright. And this must be an invoice. Yeah, that's an invoice. That's fine. Put that to one side. And here's the actual box itself. Amptastic, the small audio company. That's very nice. And a little British flag as well. So this must be made in Britain. And oh, look at the back. It's actually got Amptastic Mini-1, Hi-Fi Pig recommended. Okay, so it's actually recommended by by a reviewer, I guess. So I think we better get this thing out of the box. Actually, let's have a look at what we have on the inside. Okay, right. So here on this side is the actual power AC to DC power adapter. So that will actually allow me to plug in the power supply. Okay, and here is the amp itself. My God, that is tiny! There's the user guide there. What is that? Seriously, that is all there is. That is so small. Is this seriously going to improve my audio? Seriously? Well, let's have a look at it. Let's have a little look at it. I'll admit one thing though, it is really nice to look at. It's actually a really classy looking unit. Got a nice all metal finish. That's actually quite nice. And at the front here, volume dial. Well, I'll admit that's actually quite a nice volume dial. It's sort of, I think it's made so you don't accidentally turn anything up. At the back of the unit, we've got. So it looks like you've got your power in there, speaker terminals or binding posts, and left and right input. And that is it. And at the front you've got power and the volume obviously, but that is seriously it. There's nothing else to this amplifier at all. But one thing I will say, it does say at the bottom there, engineered in Cambridge. So it was actually made over here. I like that, that's actually really good. Yeah, this little amplifier was made in England. Well, that's a nice little touch, I think. But I still can't get over how small this thing is. It literally fits in my hand. Look at that. That is a midget amplifier. It's tiny. Well, I guess, as I said, I'm taking the risk here, so I'll need, of course, some essentials. So I've got some speaker wire here, and I've actually got myself an RCA to phono cable, so I guess all that's left to do is wire this thing up. So here goes nothing. Alright, the amp's in position, the speaker wires are in position, and now it's time for the speakers, I guess. And these are my choice. These are the Acoustics 2010i bookshelf speakers. And I actually chose these for a very good reason. Partly because, according to Amptastic on social media, it's the most popular combination, or one of the most popular combinations in fact, but mostly because I've actually got 4 of these on my home cinema system, along with a 2000 Ci centre speaker and a 2070 Si subwoofer. And I've been running them for over 2 years now, and they have been amazing. The sound quality overall has been absolutely tremendous. So naturally, I had to choose the 2010i's for that reason. So let's get them out of the box, so we can have a look at what's what. So first thing, we've got some foam bungs here. Basically that will go into the back of the bass port, so it'll dumb the bass down a little bit more if there's too much bass for you. And underneath the packing foam is, of course, one of the bookshelf speakers itself, so please forgive me as I lift this out. Oh, we've got a CD driver and instruction manual. Don't need it. Get out of the way. I just need this bit here. put them on my chair for now. And the other one, get that out of the way. So now we have the actual speakers themselves, and I hope I got that the right way. Doesn't feel like I have, but hey ho, I'll just go with it. So now we've got the actual speakers themselves, and let's take these out. Yeah, source the right way up. Bit of packing protection there, and oh, little peek. Little peek there, and here are the 2010i's themselves. That is very, very nice indeed. Now, as I said, I absolutely love these speakers. They have excellent audio quality, and they give the best, I think, the best performance for the money you pay for. Now, I actually got these, and in fact the RCA cable, which is an Audio Quest Tower cable. I actually got them both from Audiovisual Online, and fantastic service. So if you're interested in these speakers, I'll put a link in the video description so you can have a look there, and I'll put a link to Acoustics and Audio Quest as well, and Amptastic if you are interested. Well, so now we've got the speakers out, so let me just take the front grill off here so we can show you why these are absolutely amazing. You can see here that it's got a decoupled tweeter, and there's the 4-inch driver there for mid-range and low-range sound. The tweeter itself actually has its own shielding inside, so therefore it'll make the audio just that little bit crisper for when you power these up. At the back is normally where you find the speaker terminals, but you've just got the bass ports, and you can actually put these right up against the wall for just that better bass. And underneath are where you will find the binding posts for the speakers, or for your speaker wires. So I guess I better wire these up then, and I just hope that these sound as good as Acoustics is saying. I hope the amp sounds as good as they say as well. So let's go for it. Alright, the speakers are now wired up, the amp is in position as I said before, and I've got them more pointing towards me as well in terms of the speakers, so they're more towards the user. All that's left to do now is get the power cable plugged in. So, power it up. Alright, so we've got the blue LED, so that's one good sign. So I've now got the Realtek audio driver open, so I'm just going to check the signal, see if it was all going through. Okay, oh, make sure the volume's turned up, so let's have a listen. Yep. Alright, we have power. We've got the speakers all wired up. Currently it's just past the 9 o'clock position in terms of the volume. So, all that's left for me to do is to, well, I guess have a listen. And I'll be back very, very soon. Okay, so, I've just listened to some music, watched some videos, and I've played some games with sound coming from these speakers connected to this Amptastic Mini-1 stereo amplifier, connected directly to the computer without any need of any external DACs or a dedicated sound card. And, well, I actually can't. So the quality, the overall quality of sound coming from this system now, it's just unbelievable. It is. I'm genuinely staggered of that this tiny little amplifier produces sound like that, and the same with the speakers as well. Right, how can I put this? If you're serious about your computer audio and you want to start somewhere, get yourself one of these amps, get yourself some passive speakers, wire them up, and go to town. You won't believe the result that's produced. Wait until you hear it for yourself. Thanks for watching, I guess. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. The quality is just unbelievable.